everybody. My name is Clifton Ross III.
What was your dad's name?
My dad's name was Clifton Ross Jr. I lost my dad on June 24th, 2022.
What is something that you remember most about your dad?
One thing that I remember most about my dad is that he was just always present in everything that I had in my life, whether it was big, small, any milestone. My dad was always present. He was always on the front row. He was always there cheering me on with his bow tie on, smiling like, you got this. So I always had my dad's support. That's something that I will never forget. It's something that I will always cherish. It is something that I aspire to be to my future children.
How would you describe your dad?
My dad was everybody's dad. My dad was the father that you wanted. And I was blessed to have him, and I was so open to share him with my friends. And he was the light of every room. Everybody called him the mayor of the city. And they say I'm a chip off the old block. I don't care, I am. But that was my dad. So his energy was just magnetic. And if you were in the room with my dad, you felt him. And I loved it.
Give me a funny story about him.
A funny story about my father. Okay, one time, so when I turned 21, of course I was here at in DC, well, in the DMV, and I was at Howard University, and I turned 21, but I didn't go home to get my license renewed. So my license were kind of expired because I turned 21. You know, when you turn 21, you got to get everything changed over. And so my dad was like, yo, you got to go home and, you got to come home and change your license, because if you get pulled over, you're going to get arrested. Oh, I'm fine, Dad. I'm good. I was on 7th Street. I just moved into the towers for the summertime at Howard, and guess what? I got pulled over. And I got arrested. And the whole time I was laughing like, yo, I don't even get in trouble. Like, I didn't get in trouble in high school. I got arrested. And the whole time I was laughing, I was in the jail cell like, wait till I call my dad. So when they gave me the time to, where you can call somebody and be like, oh, make a phone call. So I called my dad, and I was like, guess what, Dad? I was like, what? I was like, I just got arrested for an expired license. And we sat on that phone and laughed for about 5 minutes. It was like, I told you. And, I just love that I could talk to my dad about anything in the world, and we would just make a joke out of it. If we needed to laugh, we would laugh. If we cried, we cried. But he was somebody I could always talk to.
If your dad was here, how would your family unit be?
It would be how it is now. Like, when my dad passed away, we grew even tighter, and I didn't even think that was possible. So if he was here now, I think the unit would just be even more tighter. My dad is the definition of love. He's the definition of grace, and we hold on to that.
Did your dad start any family traditions?
Yes, my dad definitely started family traditions. Like Christmas, we all made sure we had a present for everybody in the room. My dad would always cook on cookouts. Now I cook on cookouts. He was the grill master. I guess I'm a grill master. It's like little things my dad do. My dad believed in pictures. He believed in photography, family photos. So there's photos all over my house. So he started so many things.
What made your dad a good dad?
What made my dad a good dad was him being present and available, even when he wasn't present and available, if that makes sense. He still would have enough space to see about me. And, what's funny is, as you grow older and as you become an adult, and I can just speak personally, as I become an adult, I realize how easy it can be to be distracted by life, because life be lifing. And the fact that my dad always made time to see about me is something that will always stand out about me, because that was a decision, and God bless his decision, because I'm still being blessed by his decision to be present.
What would you say to your dad now if you had the opportunity to?
Well, my dad visits me in my dreams. So we definitely have conversations. But just, I love you. And don't feel bad about leaving. My dad left abruptly. He died abruptly. He was not sick. He just passed away. And I know that was, I don't know how the afterlife is, but if that was my dad and how much he cared about us, that would hurt him. So I would say, don't regret how you left. We love you, and we have a harvest, literally a harvest of memories, a harvest of life lessons, a harvest of glory and grace that we pull from daily, from what you taught us. So job well done is what I would tell my dad.
It coming up on 2 years, just a few days after Father's Day. How has grief been for you? What does grief look like for you?
Grief for me comes in waves. I've learned to cry when it's time to cry. And when it's time to cry, I get excited because when my dad passed away, we kind of went into work mode, and we made all of my siblings, we made a promise to my dad, different things he would promise us. If anything happened to me, do this, do that, and do that. And so when he passed away, we did this, that, and that. And it wasn't really sad like that, but at the same time, grief has its way of getting you. So it's definitely waves, as people described it. I was never angry, so I know there are different stages. I was never angry at God. I was never angry at my father. But when it's time to cry, I literally pause everything, and I have an emotional day, and I always wake up the next day and feel better. So I take it as it comes, but I don't live in my grief. My dad loved everything I was doing. He was so proud of everything that I am doing, but everything I was doing when he was alive. And I keep going, but in the strength of knowing that this is what he would want me to do. My dad passed away on Friday, and on that Saturday, I had to sing at a wedding. And I was like, well, my dad would have wanted me to sing, so that I literally sang a 2-hour concert at a wedding the next day after my father passed away, and no one knew, because it was just what I know he would have wanted me to do. He loved to hear me sing, and so I continue on his legacy.
What is something you would want your dad to be remembered by?
I would want my dad to be remembered, I would say, his character. I feel like he was the epitome of what a man should look like. And it's not about being hyper masculine or super masculine. He followed through with the things that he said he would do. He showed up when he needed to show up. He loved us the way we needed to be loved. He gave us the freedom to be and to exist and to love us through that. And so my dad was all that, and I am that because of that. And so that's something that I will pass on to my children to be and to support. If you want to tap dance, let's tap dance. If you want to sing, let's sing. If you want to cook, whatever your dream is,